Like, that's the rest of the system, is just the government railing you into oblivion. And they're really good at it. Make no mistake. They're really good at it. The government is an expert at demoralizing and demotivating the populace collectively, but they're also really good at doing it individually as well. If you're ever under a felony indictment, you'll probably know what I'm talking about if you've ever been under one or if you ever end up under one. And if you say, well, not me, not never, and don't ever speak too soon, my friend, life can take some very, very interesting twists and turns. But that being said, that is the first opportunity I will have in my criminal case to start holding the government to its task. Remember, I don't have to do anything in the case, technically, right? This is all fun legal theory. You do have to do a lot of shit, but I don't have to do anything. The government has to prove the allegations against me and Lady Rackets. That's what they have to do. And this is the first real salvo in that case. Is coming up on Wednesday. So looking forward to it, because it's about time I get to fire back a little bit. And this case is really interesting. It's actually it's really annoying. It's really annoying not being able to talk about it, because it's wildly more interesting than you guys know. And that's not your fault, right? That's not your fault. There's just a lot going on, and there's not really access to a lot of the information. And that's fine. But it makes the commentary very myopic. The commentary of anyone has to assume a bunch of things. Well, all of those assumptions are critical elements of the case. And so by making those assumptions, you've decided issues that are going to likely be before the court in some capacity. Now, some of them might be very simple. Some of them are not. Some of them are actually very, very complicated. And some of them are critical to whether or not a case can even proceed. So to discuss my case, you have to make assumptions about those things without the information to do it. And I'm not, again, as I've stated the whole time, I'm not really faulting anyone for that. They don't have the information to make a full-on analysis, so they have to just kind of calls it as they sees it, and what they see is a limited picture. But it'll become a little bit more clear, and really a whole lot can happen on Wednesday, but most of it probably won't happen on Wednesday. The judge has, I believe, 30 days to rule following the omnibus, so it really could be sometime in September where a ruling comes down one way or another, or in multiple different ways, because there could be multiple issues. But like I said, I get to finally say something. And the things that I intend to say are pretty important. So it's good. People are asking what I'm drinking. Drinking, guys, it's just liquor. That's all it is. It's just a giant mug of liquor. It's not like I have a mandatory drug test going on all the time. It's probably just me sneaking liquor. Oh, between liquor, I'm probably just eating heroin or whatever because I don't comply with my drug tests. Frederick Little, Lady Rackets is doing well. She's doing very well right now, so it's good. So what I'm drinking, this is my go-to drink. It is sweet tea, Milo sweet tea to be specific. And this one is vanilla almond milk. Sometimes it's milk and actual vanilla extract. Vanilla almond milk is a nice, easy way to make the drink quickly. Oh, and ice. There's ice in it. But yes, please tell me more. Tell me more about how much I'm cheating on my drug tests. Haven King says, how do you know it's working without testing it by using drugs? Remember, everybody online knows everything that's going on at all times, and I'm obviously lying about everything. That was sarcastic for the transcript. As I stated, ever since we were ordered to comply with drug tests, and we were ordered to have no substances, including alcohol. We have been completely off of them. That was, I believe, June 7th. The order was from the bench, and I think that order went into play. I think the written order came down like June 9th. But Shocker, when the county tells you what you need to do, you do it. But everybody's very critical about what I did or didn't do before the county told me what to do. Let me give you a little piece of free advice. If the county or the government is involved in some sort of legal action against you, and you run to the government telling them all the things you're going to do to fix your problems, they're just writing it down with smiles on their faces and dicks as hard as diamond. They love for you to say that. And if you have a lawyer who's actually like, by the way, just do everything they say. In fact, preemptively do whatever you think they want you to do. Please, please, please seek different counsel. Please do that. Please do that. I've seen a lot of internet commentary talking about things that I should or shouldn't do, and it is absolutely abysmal legal advice. And it's funny because they act like they know the situation, but please remember, you've made a bunch of assumptions about what the facts are rather than knowing the facts. If you just full hightail it to the government and tell them, I'm going to do this and this and this, they're like, why? Why would you do that? It's like if a cop pulls you over for something, you know why I pulled you over? Well, I'm drunk driving and speeding, but I'm going to go right to rehab. Actually, your taillight was out, but thanks. As stated, been fully compliant and complicit with the county with once they told us what to do, we were happy to comply. It's amazing. Again, that was in the family law case, but the criminal case is still ongoing, and the criminal case will be continuing at least through August 21st. It is possible that something could happen on August 21st. There are a couple options. There are plea deals that could be like a plea could be taken. Doesn't have to be a plea deal. Some people think there has to be a plea deal, but people can just go in and plead guilty. That can happen. The other thing that could happen to have a disposition on the case would be if the judge made a ruling from the bench, maybe in our favor, dismissing it. That's a pretty unlikely outcome, mainly because any issues that would present themselves in our case would be complicated issues and the judge would most likely be taking them under advisement and having, again, the rule is 30 days to rule on that, to rule on any of those motions. So that would be the other possible alternatives on the 21st. Again, most likely it's going to continue into September at least, because of that. But hey, who knows? It's a wild card, and you guys will be kept somewhat posted. I'm guessing the records of what happens on that day are going to be public. You guys will probably know them about the time I do. It's not like I get special access. What gang am I going to join if I go to jail? The Booty Warriors, baby. So it's hard to talk about criminal law when you have a criminal case if everybody assumes that when you're talking about it at all, you're talking about your own case. But I'm not. And for example, one of the things people are harping on is I've said this for years, but people have short-term memory. They've said that they talk about this thing that I said about you don't consent to a search. This is on Chrissy's show. You don't consent to a search. The cops are going to search your house, right? If they show up and they have a warrant or whatever, they're going to search your house. Even if they don't have a warrant and they want to search your house, they'll do it. Don't consent. You politely decline consent, but they're going to execute the search. Okay. You don't consent because you don't know necessarily what anybody has brought into your house, your car, your person, your pants. These cases do come up quite often where someone borrows a pair of pants or is driving someone else's car, or a friend rides in their car. Something slips out of their pocket. Someone leaves something in a house. It doesn't really matter what the circumstances are. Someone leaves something in someone's house, and now they're looking like they're in possession of the thing, and now they have to fight to prove that they weren't. Okay? That happens with regularity, or at least it's a legal argument that people make with regularity. This is why you don't consent to searches, though, because if the search is facially invalid, then what they find during the search is similarly invalid. So you just add that extra layer of protection that the Fourth Amendment grants you and says, you know, do you have a warrant? If they say yes, you don't consent to the search, but you don't resist the search. Don't do that. You might not go home. But that being said, you don't consent, because once you consent, they no longer need reasonableness. They don't need a warrant. They don't need reasonableness. The Fourth Amendment no longer applies once you've consented to the search. But the reason you do that is because you may not know the thing. If you took your car in to the shop and a mechanic was working on it and he dropped a bag of meth underneath your seat that got replaced, you may not know that. But it may get found in a search that you consented to, and now it looks like you're driving around with meth. Terrible plan. The easier thing is to not consent to the search. And then if they find that, but the search is unreasonable, you have another weapon in your toolbox to get that taken care of. How do you not consent, but also not resist? I don't consent to the search. And they go, we're going to search you. You can say, I understand. I don't consent to the search. But I understand they're going to search you, though. Like eventually they're going to. But as long as you're not an asshole, look, guys, if I didn't get beaten or shot by the cops, you're going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine because I'm a dick. I owns it. Look, you hire a lawyer as a lawyer because you want an outside expert on the law. And they may practice in that practice area that you don't practice in, or they may practice with much more frequency than you do. Like, right? I don't practice. I'm here. I'm here with you guys. Rarely right now, but normal times and better times, I'm here a little more often. And I'm not taking cases. So I hire someone else to do that work because you need the legal expertise. But there is someone who knows a whole lot about the facts of this case, and that's me. That's me because I'm obsessive about them. It's all I really think about most days. I just it kind of eats up your attention span. I was talking about this on my last stream, and there will be time to talk about the lawyers that Lady Rackets and I had at the beginning of our child custody case. I mean, they were atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. Terrible lawyers who did not in any way have our best interests at play. None. They didn't know us. They didn't try. They didn't prepare. They didn't do any work. They did literally zero work on our case. It was unreal. But that is a story for another day.